people say it was just a halftime show, I know exactly who they've never had to be. Because for some of us, that stage wasn't just entertainment, it was a rival. Bad Bunny didn't perform at the Super Bowl, he testified. On a stage built to sell beer, trucks, and empire, he put a sugarcane plantation front and center. Not as nostalgia, not as decor, but as a reminder that this country's wealth was harvested off of brown and black backs. And we remember, that wasn't set design, that was a receipt. Then came the domino players. Old viejitos, your abuelitos, your tios, folding tables, plastic chairs, no subtitles, no explanation. Because if you know, you know. That moment said we exist without translating ourselves for you. We laugh loudly, we argue passionately, we take up space, and we don't need permission. He showed a Latino wedding, not for exotic flavor, but for dignity, for joy, for the kind of love our communities build, even when the world tells us we're disposable. He reminded America we don't just survive trauma, we throw parties in its shadow. Y'all, when he woke up that kid, I got chills. I couldn't tell you how many times I pulled 3 chairs together at a wedding and put my little behind to sleep. Then El Apagón. Utility poles, darkness, interruption. Puerto Rico's power outages weren't turned into a metaphor. They were named, they were exposed. They were put on blast during the most watched broadcast in the country that benefits from Puerto Rico but refuses to protect it. That's not symbolism, that's political clarity, mi gente. Let's be clear, that took nerve, because America loves Latino culture until Latino people start talking about colonialism, displacement, and neglect. America loves our rhythm until we use it to tell the truth. Bad Bunny didn't soften it, he didn't dilute it, he didn't apologize, he said, "This is ours, watch it." Let's talk about what mattered to me personally. I watched that stage as a gay Latino, and for the first time, I didn't feel like I was watching myself edited for comfort. Queer presence wasn't a gimmick, it wasn't rainbow capitalism, it wasn't look how progressive we are. It was fluid, it was unapologetic, it was masculine without being violent, it was tender without being small. Bad Bunny has spent years breaking the lie that Latino masculinity has to be rigid, silent, and cruel. On that stage, he said, we can be soft, we can be sensual, we can be strange, we can be free, and nobody died from seeing it. The world didn't end, the sky didn't fall. And I absolutely love that our Afro-Latino roots were not erased. They were centered. Blackness was not background, it was foundational, musically, visually, historically. That matters because Latinidad without blackness is a lie, a comfortable lie, a marketable lie, but still a lie. This performance refused that lie. Here's the part that people are missing. Bad Bunny didn't rise to the Super Bowl moment. The Super Bowl rose to Bad Bunny. For decades, halftime shows have asked artists to flatten themselves into something America can digest in 12 minutes. He did the opposite. He said, "You will meet us where we are," and America watched. Some were uncomfortable, some were confused, some were pissed. Good, because progress has never sounded polite, justice has never been quiet, and liberation has never been subtle. This mattered because it proved something dangerous, that our stories don't need permission to be powerful, that our pain doesn't need translation to be valid, that joy, resistance, queerness, and blackness can coexist on the biggest stage in the world and win. For one night, Puerto Rico wasn't a punchline or a footnote, it was the headline. For one night, queerness wasn't hidden, it was celebrated. For one night, Afro-Latino history wasn't erased, it was amplified. And for people like me, gay Latino grown tired of shrinking, it felt like being told, you were never too much. The world was just too small. The halftime show wasn't merely a performance, it was a declaration. And once you've seen that truth on a stage that big, you don't unsee it. We're here. We've always been, and we always will be.